Bart Simpson, in relation to knowing the emotion of the intern relay, you need to know how to control your third eye by the nose, the mouth, and the lips. In that way, the tractors of 11% is a tree house to know how to border the dimension. In that way, the consumption of the border is the retimer to unperhaps yourself into a recording video, because I will give you some later. In return, when you know the facial expression, the handprint, and the facial expression by 4 ruler, you will be enough to walk around the clock, to act like a clock, and to sound like a clock. In that way, each time your facial, your emotion, and your pling pling is your acting career. So in that way, Bart Simpson, the lawyers will intern into Mr. Byrne. Acting like a shape help you to know how to control the banana. The third vocabulary is very hard to send the sun through. But in that time, when you have a nose print, you will gunno into the runa. The vocabulary for Dr. Lee Sandra is the unevenness of life based upon knowing deep voice. Knowing deep voice. In the deep voice of the IPD address is 21.6.5 in relation to the iTunes. In each iTunes for Andy, he will become the mama of law based upon the intermission. Each intermission is nana of law based upon the runana and to and from the talanana. Looking through the camera, blinking or not blinking, is the instrument of law based upon how to know so. So in that way, when you look like shape, you will perform your work by a shaper. In this time, when you know how the ruler work, you will reprogram into this calculator. A, B, F, G. In that way, the returning home is the fifth calculation of the instrument of law. By so, you will indeed in a fuckwit to control your majority of law and to intermish your heart. So Bart Simpson, looking round the clock, help you to understand the kanan. Not count, but in that time, when you know your facial expression, you will impose it to the fifth ruler. In that time, when you work out Ana technology by the fox, you will return home in relation to the formula. Vocal voice box is the instrument of law by how to talk hard. And in so, when you understand the emotion before you express yourself into an easy task, you will return home to understand each look. So Bart Simpson and Homer Simpson and Marge Simpson and Lisa Simpson. Your baby feet is understanding the impacting degree by the onso to know that Final Fantasy, the Voltron will return home to understand how to play games. In that way, the internal frame will be mananana. Yes, into the panana. So acting like a shape will help you to understand why I'm blinking. So knowing how to control your unity of law, you will return home by the fifth border. In playing sum, you have the instrument of law by the diameter to fin in. So in anana, you will return home. So in that way, when you know how to cook a clock, you'll be previewing yourself into the dimension. So what else? knowing. What else? Perhaps you know to know how to act, how to have a career, how to have a job, how to have a career. And in that time, when you know how to talk, you will ease another of the matrix. Each matrix is a tanana to know that you're looking. Maybe not, but then again, when you are iteming, each item is knowing, but per item is not knowing. In a matter of time, when you look, you will banna into knowing. Acting How to Act by actress by Marge Simpson. To income the design and to play with Mr. Byrne. In that time, the consumption of the piranha is a dimension in Sydney. In Sydney, the Indanana is the typesetting of typesetting. Typesetting. See? When you think a lot, Alan, you have not been upgraded enough into emotion. Any emotion that you know of, you will return home to manifest the law. Each manifest of law is a dimension of law by the Instagram and technology. In time, when you have a cake shop, you will be in of me. If not available in relation to the Kamalana, you will return home by the fifth border. In so, no to emotionally. Then you become one. But how? In fact, life is just like eyebrow emotion, eyeball emotion. Knowing where things are is a synematics, that's the noise, is a tasana of in makata. In makata is the way to look and to see and to not do to see and to not look to see. You are what does that mean, Bart Simpson? Knowing how to act like a career, a job, a syntax, and a job. In that way, when you know, you are speaking slowly to know the understanding of life is only one in so, but perhaps, in a matter of time, Bart Simpson, the third upgrade is to be you. Easy, in fact, maybe, maybe not. So know how to, eyeball your own eyes. You have one in. Then how come? And perhaps, indeed, Bart Simpson. The third upgrade of your mana is the fifth dimension. In that time, if you understand the concept of art, you be plead. Do you know that one, Bart Simpson? Plead. Not bleed, plead. As in yes, or acceptance of yes. And to know that maybe you are siphoning into a third look by Lisa Simpson. Brothers and sisters, Math 8, brothers and sisters, understanding the concept of acting life in Korea by Marge Simpson. In that time, names are names, but friends are friends, to know how to cling into the emotion. And in that time, when you send through the third signal, you be in yes. Maybe, perhaps. But Bart Simpson, the looking in the clock is to know that you're a slow talker, to realize the dimension and to income the dimension of ruler 3 Emotionally, the infernal of vocabulary will burn you out into the IO5, and in that time, the position of the army will be Sector 3. So, in Seoul, what do you look like to know? Not to know, but to know that the game machine is lesbian to upgrade into Lazion. In that time, you have one into me. But the fifth board is like, but I do not know you. How come you do not know me to know that I am so returning home by the fifth border? In time, emotionally, you predict yourself into knowing, anything else?